Hello and welcome to yet another talking head video about PoE. So this one is going to be about the Necro-Settlers event that is launching this Thursday, and I will link that in the description below so you can see your local time. It starts around 10-11 p.m. on a Thursday rather than on a Friday, which is very fun. The event itself is going to last until the end of Settlers League. You get a mystery box when you get to level 50, and in maps we are encountering the Necropolis Mechanic, the positive parts of the Lantern of Erimor. If you want to see about Necropolis more, I will link that in the description below. My previous video, PoE for Dummies, it's legacy because it's not core, but at least you will get the gist of it for the Lantern of Erimor. Basically, TLDR, every map is going to have an open few mods that you can assign to mob packs, and those are going to be positive mods like grants chaos orb, like percent chance, maybe divine orbs and such. So that's basically it. Now this video is going to be about 3 of the builds that I would recommend for this event. Keep in mind, all of these builds I have played and I have done videos in the past for the Settlers League. The build that I'm going to put in place number 3 is going to be the Sweep Slayer. The reason why this build is going to be number 3, it is a very great cheap build to start in the beginning of the league, which you can start with Terminus Est, and then later on you can bring it to a very good level. It starts with Terminus Est and just basic yellow gear, whatever you literally find on the ground, and then it upgrades into Starforge, Ralakesh's boots, and such if you want to give it a little bit of an oomph that basically enables you to properly use the mechanic with the belt, which is Arn's Anguish, so that we can get triple damage. That's what Ralakesh's enable. However, based on my leveling and the experience about making the build, this build is basically done once you get Terminus Est and you can get on your way. It has very good clear speed. It doesn't have excellent clear speed, for example, breaches and stuff, but it cleans legions, blights. It can do Delirium no problemo. I haven't tested Simulacrum. There's no need to do this one in Simulacrum. But overall, it can do whatever you want it for farming. It's decently quick for farming as well, depending on whether or not you like to do legions like this. And yes, everything is in the video, which I will link in the description below, of course, as every time, with all the timestamps, leveling, and such. POB, of course, is there. Nothing has changed because we are on the same patch. So enjoy it, play it through, see how you like it, and do tell me if it all works well. Now, when it comes to build number 2, build number 2 is going to be, again, duelist, but this time is going to be the Immortal Lacerate Gladiator. This build, however, is somewhat of an opposite of Sweep Slayer because it has quick attack speed, a little bit quicker in the beginning. However, it is extremely tanky. It can do Simulacrum, no problemo, full waves. You just sit down, jam some tweezers in your keyboard, lift your hands up in the air, go do whatever, go do that laundry that you haven't done. I'm talking to myself now. You can do whatever you want. It's an AFK build. The only thing that can kill the build are accidental dots that basically are on the ground, but if there's no dots, if they're just pure hits, GG, well played. This build is practically immortal. It has infinite health pool, and it is block capped before doing Lucky Block. Now, Lucky Block brings another layer of defense where every attack against us gets rolled twice to see if it's going to be blocked or not. This build has natural full block chance based on however we build it. The only problem with the build is the clear speed. It is not the best damaging build around. It's one of the worst when it comes to damage. It's mainly defense focused. And it cannot do open maps properly. So this build I would suggest for maps like Silo, where you have narrow corridors where your Lacerate can actually pop both sides and you will just have a fun time. This build also cannot do timed content because it's bleed based build, and it is also a Crimson Dance build, which means you need to stack up bleeds up to 8 to do more damage. Now there's a forever debate whether or not aggravated bleeding or Crimson Dance is stronger. Crimson Dance is always stronger if enemies can live long enough for you to get the full benefit. Because this build doesn't have enough damage, that's why Crimson Dance is better. It always brings more damage on prolonged fights, and then we cheese the DPS, cheese with War of Attrition, where the more we are engaged in combat with an enemy, the more damage we deal and over time. So that's the debate. You can swap for mapping, you can swap to Jagged Technique for bleeding you inflict is aggravated, and then you can change multi-strike to something else, whatever you would wish to add for this. You can do volatility, you can do cruelty, whatever you would like. That's if you want to make it into a more of a mapper. I intentionally built this one to clean simulacrums. So simulacrums and ultimatums, sorry. So those two. The only negative about it is just the AoE. Everything else is a positive. And the last but not least, the build I will be personally playing with a few members in the community as well, and that build is going to be one that is very dear to me, that I finally made it work. That is going to be Burning Arrow Elementalist. So Burning Arrow Elementalist is the build that I have chosen to play for this upcoming Necro-Settlers League, and that build can demolish AoE content, and I have successfully done Feared, not Deathless. I died once I think, but that requires practice to dodge abilities, of course. So this build features high evasion, around 30-40k evasion. It has flasks almost permanently up, especially because this is very good build to do breach with. It can do legions, it has great recovery, it has good defenses based on elemental aegis and Immortal Call. It has high HP, 4.2, 4.3k HP, very spell suppress capped, of course, very, very good build. Now, the only thing with this build is you need to swap between Snipe and GMP. GMP gives us more arrows to proc the proliferation as much as possible, and the Snipe gives us way more damage the more we pull the Snipe stages. So it's around 100% more damage per Snipe stage. We can go up to 7. So if you have a boss that's basically charging up an attack or something, you pull up to 7, boom, boss is dead. It's a very cheap build to start playing. It can be more expensive. This is not a min-maxed version. This is just 0 to hero. You can do 2 to 3x more damage with 50% more investment on this build, but we will see how the economy is. So this is going to be the build that I am going to play for the upcoming Settlers and Necropolis League for the upcoming event. As I said, everything of these is going to be linked down in the description below. You can enjoy the timestamps and everything, the POBs, everything is there. But those are the 3 builds I would recommend. The AoE Carnage for sweep, which is very cheap to build. The Immortality build, if you want to do ultimatums and simulacrums without even worrying about it. You can do chores while you play this build. And the build that does it all, that clears the content, whether it is AoE or single target, Burning Arrow Elementalist. So I hope you enjoyed this talking head video once again, and I hope you do like the video. Please do give it a sub if you don't mind. and I will see you in the next video, and of course, for the start of Necro-Settlers Event. Have a good one.